Everybody digs the long ball. Let's go over how you can maximize those drives to full potential in PGA Tour 2K21. First off, what are we going to need to look at? Well, we got to start with equipment. And PGA Tour 2K21 does have a wide variety of equipment. So go to your golf bag and look and sort by that distance. The longest clubs are going to be in the purple category at the very bottom, and the one that I'm using is called the Titleist TSI3. This was only available on the Golf Pass, so if you don't have that, no worries. There is also a Bridgestone BJGR that is available. That is the same exact distance as you can see there. It is not less of distance than like something like a Callaway. It's slightly less distance. Titleist TSI3 is what I have in my bag, but feel free to use the Bridgestone Golf. That's going to be roughly the same. My natural carry is going to be 296 yards. Now let's see what that looks like on the course. All right, here we are at the Northern Trust at TPC Boston. As you can see there, one of the official courses in the game. It starts out on a short par 4, an ideal hole to test our long-distance driver. As you can see here in the top right, it actually provides some extra info, which is going to be very valuable. First off, we have a 296 driver as we notated in our bag. Well, that is just the number that the driver typically carries. It is not factoring in wind, it is not factoring elevation, it's not factoring in any outside conditions, draw, fade, any sort of shot shaping at all. So that is just a standard stock 296 carry, assuming you get perfect tempo, swing plane, yada yada yada. There's a lot of things that go into a perfect swing, and also 100%. So the first thing that we can do is by holding the left bumper or L1, you can extend the carry by adding backspin to your shot. Notice on the right stick, as I move it down, it is going to extend that carry all the way out. It's only a few yards, but it gets out to 300 yards as opposed to where I typically start at 296. By going up, it takes off, but essentially the backspin is going to help that elevation a little bit, and theoretically it's going to carry further, and we'll have a similar rollout. You can modify your loft. It isn't going to really change much, so the backspin is the only thing that I typically mess with. The downside of doing this, and unfortunately there is a downside for trying to hit these absolute bombs, is you will notice your forgiveness, the white marker for your tempo, is going to shrink. So let me point to that for you on the screen here. That, as you notice, is getting larger. If this is my stock, and here as I go all the way down on backspin, that does shrink. So the odds of you hitting a perfect tempo in the direction you want to go also does shrink. So you're going to want to be very cognizant of that when you're trying to max out your distance. So the other thing is 100% drives. So ideally I'm hitting 100%, right? So you're seeing that power. Well, we can actually go over 100%. Some of the older Tiger Woods games, for example, may have gone up to like 120 or 110, or I forget what they are. All different games have different variations, right? Even a Mario Golf had, I think if you pressed B, you had like a power shot and you had a maximum amount that you could do, but it gives you a little extra boost. So here, you can go up to like really swing. See that little red meter that is just to the left of the 100% at the swing at the bottom? I will point to that for you as well right here. If we hold and pause at the top of our swing, we're going way over and trying to get to that maximum swing. Now if you hold too long, the percentage is going to change, even though that bar does extend all the way to the end. So you want to gradually hold a little bit, and you can get a 104. It goes up to a 105%. If you notice though, every single time I've done this so far, I have missed my tempo. So it's very difficult to get your tempo. So, and on top of it, you've already made it a little bit harder on yourself by adding backspin to get you a few extra yards in the air. So Do all of these things, and then you'll be able to, theoretically, if all things work out, you hit that perfect tempo, you add that backspin, you can drive much further. Let's see how far we can get down here. Maybe even a par 4 green in 1.
Beautiful swing.
Oh, we do hit our tempo. Only got a 102, so it's a little difficult to navigate all the way down to 105. 311 on the carry there. And then we're going to roll out to 338. So you got to figure. Let me try to replay that again. Now I'm chipping for eagle, so you can definitely see the benefits. Everyone wants to, obviously hit that long ball. There are some benefits, but there are also downsides, as I pointed out. You're going to lose that accuracy. Let's try it one more time, see if we can get perhaps a slightly better. 103, tempo slightly off. Safe. My swing plane is also shrinking. Oh, and that's another thing. As you overpower a shot, let me go back
Setting up here for your 4th shot.
Let's go back one more time, because this is very important as well. Any overpower, and if you standard hit a 101, this occurs if you do that as well. And what I mean by hit a 101, your standard shot is a 101%, because you may have like a little bit of a pause. So let's redo this one more time. We'll go back to the tee box.
Okay, here's your 5th.
So and I didn't even add loft. So if I'm going to put a line right there, right there. It's a little tough to see because it's going to be very insignificant. I'm going to try to overpower. See how that shrinks? The second you overpower, if it's a 101, it's a little bit. As it's a 102, 3, 4, the longer you pause, the more you're trying to overpower, the smaller your forgiveness is. So be very careful of that as well. So the game does a great job of making it difficult to overpower. Otherwise, everyone would be overpowering left and right all over the place. Some of the best do that anyways. But at least there is a strong incentive to not overpower, because it has that strong demand that you really need to hit that perfect tempo. Tempo, as we mentioned in our last video, is the most important thing. Let's try one more time, see if we might be able to reach this green. Oh, that was the 105 too, as you can see there. That was a practice swing though. I forgot to toggle that off.
Look at this.
We get a 103. This will probably end up being short again. It's a great line, but this is the type of thing that you can do with a perfect tempo. 102, I think, got to like 130 something. 103 gets to 138. Maybe that 105 trickles onto that green, and we have a putt at eagle. Either way, I'm going to take my chances here. We might be able to chip one in. But this is a much better, much higher opportunity of scoring than if you're out on that fairway from 50, 60 yards perhaps. But all I do say is, go out there, hit some bombs, but be careful.